In today's episode, I'm going to run through some setups submitted by our rank traders. We're going to look at a CADJPY setup by Mntungwa, a Pound USD by Andile, and New Zealand JPY by Karabu. So I'm also going to update you guys on the big swing trades I'm looking at on oil and Aussie dollar, US dollar. Enjoy. Alright, the first setup we're going to look at is one submitted by Mntungwa, and that is on the CADJPY. And this is a 2-hour chart we have in front of us. And he's looking for this little 5-wave expanding flat, and currently he's looking for a move a little bit down before we have the long opportunity. So I'm just going to draw this on my TradingView account, and then we're going to have a look at how we can play this during next week. So here we have the CADJPY 2-hour chart, and we have this little 5 waves marked according to Mntungwa. And we have currently we have a bit of a flag forming here, and hopefully when this flag breaks, we'll get down to this level where we will start hunting for longs, to go higher, potentially taking this liquidity all the way up here. But I'm going to move down to the 30-minute time frame quickly. So early next week, what I'm going to be looking for personally, and there's a couple of ways to play this. We do have this flag forming here. The market came down, and it is actually busy forming a bit of a flag here. So what you can do potentially is look for a break of this flag and then have a short with your stop above the correction, and then you can take your profit at these lows. There's a nice little order block coming in here, so this is some nice confluence at this level, between the 78% and the 88.6% retrace. Alternatively, if this market just continues to grind up to make another high to take these clean highs, potentially you can take an aggressive entry over here with your stop up here, and then play the move down. This is a great risk reward trade, but it is a bit more aggressive. But if this works, like I said, is quite a good risk reward on this one. So yeah, quite a good trade, and this is on our Discord watch list. So for the soldiers in a Discord trading room, you can follow this on the watch list. And now the next setup is one submitted by Andile, and that is on the Pound USD. And this is a 30-minute chart, and we're going to have a look at how we're going to play this. We're currently in this uptrend over here, and basically what we're looking for next week is a correction above this trend line. And if we have any sort of corrective price action move into potentially this order block which comes in on this trend line, this could be a potential long opportunity to go along this market. Andile has his target up here at around 1.318, so we'll definitely be following this. And again, this is on our watch list in our Discord trading room. Alright, so and the final setup I want to share by our members is one shared by Karabu. And that's a long setup on New Zealand JPY. In fact, he got long late last week, and he's looking for this move to the upside. And I'm going to I really like the setup, but I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to look for next week myself before I get long this market. So bringing up the New Zealand JPY here on my TradingView account. We do have this impulsive move, and then the market is grinding down in a bit of a corrective fashion. I do have this little order block marked down here at 70.435, and ideally I would like to mark it to reach that area. But for me, the ideal scenario is hopefully to have a bit of a consolidation here before we break the lows, touch this level, and then I will look to go long as soon as we break this consolidation. It might set up a bit differently next week. Obviously, if the setup changes, I will adjust it in our trading room. But this would be my ideal scenario, and then hopefully we'll go long. This, incidentally, is one of the reversal patterns we have. If one of these reversal patterns develop, then that's just a higher probability for it to work out, and I can go in with confidence. But yeah, also a nice one to look out for. And again, this is on our watch list for next week. Alright, so next up I want to go through 2 setups we shared last week in our weekly analysis, and the first one is that on oil. And just to remind you guys, we are looking for quite a big move on oil. We are looking for this market to make these new highs, quite a big move. And we did mark off sort of little order blocks and pivot points where we're expecting, or where we were looking for the reaction. And we're on the weekly charts here, and you guys can see we have quite a big reaction here on the weekly time frame. So everything is looking quite good for this setup, and hopefully in the next week or 2 or so, we'll find some more corrective price action to go long this market again. But I'm gonna quickly look at the smaller time frames and look at how you could have entered, and look at some potential entry points for next week. But more importantly, something that adds some real weight to this setup is the fact that we did have new lows on Brent crude oil, but we struggled to make new lows on West Texas. Now, this is quite often an early indication that we might have a reversal. You guys that follow me on the trading room know I use this technique on the US indices, and I do look for these divergences on the US indices, and similarly on these two oil instruments that normally trade pretty much in sync. And often when you have the market diverging like this, that's a good sign that the market could be in for a reversal. Now, because West Texas is the one that couldn't make new lows, that's a stronger instrument, and that's normally the one I would like to focus on. And we shared this little setup in our trading room last week. After the market took these lows, we had a bit of a corrective pattern, and we were looking for a break above this to go long. But the market ended up going lower again, and then we had the big impulsive move. Now, even if you potentially you could have gone long at the break of this market, but we also, after this market took this low, we had this little 1, 2, 3 move, and then we came taking these lows. And this again is one of the reversal patterns we teach in our trading program. So there was a nice little area to go long, and if you did go long at this area, then you can easily have taken some profit or move your stop loss up to have a bit of a free trade here. Now, next week, hopefully we'll get some more chances to get into this market, and hopefully we'll get some sort of a corrective pattern. And if we do, either to this liquidity point here, that will give us a bit of a running flat, or maybe even we can come lower to take this low here to give us a bit of an expanding flat, and yeah, we'll look for some price action again to go long. Now, there's no guarantee that this market is gonna follow through, but right now everything is looking quite good, and I'm only going to be looking for longs. If this market does decide to come down, I'll stop out on the first position, but I'll look for longs again. But yeah, definitely one on my watch list, and definitely just looking for longs on oil. So the final one I want to discuss is Aussie dollar US dollar, and as you guys know, I'm looking for quite a big move on Aussie USD. We did have a great little entry last week, one that we shared in our trading room. This little flip zone setup that you see over here. And if I can just go to my trading view, so we can just have a little bit of an updated price. So as you guys know, I am expecting quite a big move to the upside here that would potentially run for the whole of the year. Now we did clear these lows obviously, and then we did have this flip zone set up. Now there's a couple of scenarios I think that can happen here. Potentially we can go a little bit lower again, maybe take out these lows, and then we're just going to have to look for new entries. But also, if we do have this corrective pattern, ideally I would like it to take a bit of liquidity. If this breaks out, and I think if we break these highs, I think then we're good to go for this big reversal. So I just want to show you guys personally how I executed this, and I did mention I'm going to execute this trade with IFX brokers. I do have several different brokers that I use, but IFX had by far the best swap fees on this trade. I think to hold one lot would cost about $100 if you hold it for a year, whereas most other brokers would charge you $1,500. So quite a big difference. So if you are a swing trader, definitely look at swap fees, above spreads. Now I did take a couple of entries on this. Obviously the first one was this flip zone area, but we did have I did also execute a little bit lower. Now I've taken a lot of profit, about 50% of the profit, with the rest I'm going to just run. Now, like I say, potentially this could stop out, and then I would just look for some new entries on this one. But I'm going to let these run, and hopefully, if we do catch this bottom, then like I say, this trade could end up making your year. We have this correction forming, so we're going to see next week if we clear a bit of liquidity, what's going to happen there if we have a little bit of a reaction to go long. But yeah, those are the setups I'm currently running and watching. If you guys have any setups, please share them, and I'll see you all in the trading room. Cheers.